In 2024, I saved a little bit over $10,000, and in today's video, I want to share with you just how I did it. If you are new here, my name is Jasmine, aka Budget Treasures, and here on my channel I talk about all things finance with the emphasis on budgeting, saving money, and paying off debt. Let's go ahead and jump into these things that I did. I did approximately about 9 or 10 things, but I'm just going to explain them. They're in actually no particular order, kind of, but you can order them in the way that you need to. So the first thing that you need to do, or the first thing that I did, let me say that, is I had to believe that I was able to save this money. In another video that I have, I talk about how important it is for you to believe that you are able to achieve these financial goals that you set for yourself. If you do not believe that you can save money, $100, $200, $300, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, then my friend, you will never save that amount of money, because the secret to believing is that you then will set out to act on what you believe. But if you don't believe, you're not even going to try. So the first thing that I had to do was I had to believe that I was capable and able to make certain sacrifices and put certain things in place for me to be able to save that money. So the first thing that I had to do was I had to believe, honey. It wasn't easy. It was definitely a mindset shift. It was a lot of looking at certain content where I saw people who looked like me, who was able to do the very thing that I wanted or set out to do or desired to do. And so if that is something that you're struggling with, I really encourage that you take a look at some people who you may resonate with, or you may see yourselves like them, and you will then encourage yourself, well, hey, you know what? If they did it, I can do it too. The next thing that I did was I had to have discipline. In order to save money, it's very important that you have a discipline to not spend so much money so that you are able to save that money that you would normally spend. And by having that discipline, some of the things that I did was I put the actual savings amount in my budget, of course, and I would look at my budget, and I was just really so determined that me having discipline, I knew that that would definitely help me to be able to save as much money as I set out to save. Having that discipline, it was a day by day goal, I would say. It wasn't like so much of a struggle, but I didn't want to look at the larger amount. I just wanted to have fun in the process of me saving this money, and having being able to take a look back and say, okay, I was able to save $100, I was able to save $5, I was able to save $40, and I know that saving a little bit over time will eventually equate to the larger number. And so I really made it a point to have discipline in my spending so that I was able to save the money each and every single time that I needed to save that money. It's important to have a plan. How much money do you want to save? I hear a lot of times people tell me that it's very difficult for them to save. They can't save money. Something's always happening and they're unable to save the money because they need to spend it. But I think that where I know I messed up, or where I needed the most help with, is I needed to create a plan for myself. I had to have a number in my mind that I wanted to save so that I would then go after that number. I knew that I wanted to save $5,000. Now, this is a video where I'm telling you how I saved $10,000. But I just knew that I wanted to save $5,000 for the year, because it was something that I I think I've done it before, but I haven't really tracked like how much I was spending. Of course, when I was saving to purchase my home, I definitely saved more than that, but I didn't have as much responsibility as I have now. So I'm not gonna say that I don't count it, but it was a lot easier for me to save the money then at that moment. But in today's time, I had to set out a goal for myself. Last year in 2023, I determined that I wanted to save $5,000 in the year 2024. So what I would recommend is that you set out a plan. You get a number in your head, a realistic number, I'll say, and however, a stretchable number. If you know that it's easy for you to save $1,000, then I probably wouldn't save $1,000. I would stretch myself to save $2,000. So get a number in your head and realistically come up with an amount that you want to save. And that can be for anything. It can be for you starting your emergency fund. It can be for you saving for an expense that you have to take care of, or even want. So get that figure in your head and start 2025 going after that number. Another thing that I did in 2023 is I spent a lot of time paying off debt. If you have been following me for a while, then you know that I have just recently paid off about upwards of $30,000 worth of debt. But I will say the main part that I needed to pay off was the credit card debt. The credit card debt is what really held me behind when it came to saving money, because we know that the interest on credit cards is very high. And if you miss a payment, it just becomes like a mountain of stress and problems or whatnot. So while a lot of us have debt, and like I still have debt that I am looking to pay off, but what really helped me to be able to make leaps and bounds in saving is actually paying off that credit card debt. So I did that so that I would be able to stretch my savings. You will be surprised how many times people tell me that they cannot save money. And I ask them this question, and the majority of the time, the answer is no, or, oh yeah, I do. And then when I ask a little bit further, I'm like, that's no, honey, no. And that is having a budget. You have to have a budget. Budgeting is important, okay? I have tons of videos here on my channel where I explain in detail how to complete a budget. Just writing down your bills on a piece of paper is not a budget. Having all of your bills in your mind about what you need to pay is not a budget. You have to put savings in your budget. You have to be intentional about it. You can't say, oh, I'm gonna save $500, but you don't consider the bills that you have to pay. You don't consider the debt you need to pay. You don't consider the food you need to buy. You don't consider anything else. You just take that $500 and put it to the side. And then what ends up happening is you have to then take that $500 or dip into it so that you can pay that bill that you didn't budget for, so that you can pay for food that you didn't budget for. And you always find yourself on a hamster wheel because you're not being intentional and you're not budgeting. That was what happened to me. And so I had to be intentional, and I had to create a budget and put the savings in the budget to make sure that I'm actually saving money. So that is probably one of the most important things that I had to do, and that I would suggest that you do as well if you are trying to really get over that hump and save money. Bestie, you need a budget, okay? I can't say that enough. You need a budget, you need a plan, you need to know how much money you have coming in, how much money you have going out past just your bills. Food, transportation, gas, if you Uber, bills, annual, like all of that, all of those, you need to have it. And then you need to put savings in there. And then you need to make sure that you have enough money for all of it. That is what a budget is, okay? So please, 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 please budget your money, because you can put that savings in there and that will ensure that you are saving money. To make sure that I am saving money, one of the things that I do is I save money in cash. For me, the way that my mind works, my mentality, if I have cash money, I do not spend it. It's almost like I don't even have money. I am very disciplined when it comes to like dipping in money. Some people tell me, they're like, oh, I can't use cash because I'll just dip in the money and take it to purchase food or to do whatever with. That's not the case with me. With me, if I have that cash, like I said, it's almost like I don't even have money. Now, on the other hand, if the money is in my account, I'm probably gonna spend it 9 times out of 10. For some reason, that $20 looks like $20 million and I'm just spending. So for me, I have to pull the cash out of the bank and then I put it in my savings binder, which you guys have probably seen. But I do have a savings binder that I have my savings challenges in, and I save the cash. At the end of the year, which you guys have seen, and if you haven't seen, I will encourage you to watch that video where I unstuffed all of my savings and I deposited the money into a high yield savings account. I use Capital One, and I'm so excited that I finally opened one. It was super easy, quick, and I just deposited the money into my bank account and I transferred the money over. Super easy. Now I have that money that's just sitting there and it is gaining higher interest than it would if it was just in a regular savings account. And the money is like not like easily accessible. So making sure that you have a plan of where you're keeping the savings is important. For me, it's keeping cash. For you, it may be in a savings account that you don't have access to. Even if you just start that high yield savings account and you're just funneling money in there all year and you're just watching the balance grow, that's good as well. But it's really important that you find that safe place for your savings and you continue to save your money in that area. Another thing that I did and found it to be really rewarding was doing check-ins. I would check in on all of my money goals, which, you know, my debt, my budgeting, everything, but specifically for savings, I would check in every quarter to make sure that I was still saving money. And if I needed to boost my savings in any area, I would do that as well. And so I really would recommend checking up on your savings. Check-ins are really important because you're able to hold yourself accountable, and it also encourages you to keep going, especially if you're saving a little bit over time. Once you get to, let's say, like the first quarter, and you see, yeah, you're saving $100 a month or you're saving $100 every paycheck, but then once you get to the quarter, you'll see, oh my God, I already have like $500 saved. That's encouraging. So I'm gonna keep on saving. So having those check-ins have worked wonders for me. Another thing that I did was I saved large amounts at one particular time. When I would receive large sums of money, I would take a large sum of what I received and I would save that money. I'm sure you guys have probably heard this a million times over, but it really works. Whenever I would get my bonuses throughout the year, I would take a large amount of that and I would save it. Also, there was a time where I was paid 3 times within the month and I took the majority of that money and I saved it as well. Those are definitely really big jump starters or additions to your savings. Coming up, we have tax time. A lot of people will be getting their tax returns. I'll challenge you to take a large portion of that and just put it to the side and save it. Like if you get a $4,000 return, take $2,000 and put it up. Take the whole 4, take 3, but take a large amount and make sure that you put it off to the side, and you're gonna be taking it out in cash if that's best for you, or you're gonna be putting it off over into a savings account where you're able to just put that money away so that you don't have to spend it. Another thing that I did is I have sinking funds, which is also savings. However, I see it as a little bit different from just saving for like an emergency fund or, you know, something like that. An example of that is having a car fund and you're saving a little bit of money over time. So if something happens, you're able to go into that car fund and you're able to take care of like your tires, or if there's some type of maintenance that you need on the car, you can get that done. I do also find oftentimes when we just have one savings, like let's say we're trying to save $5,000 for the year, if we only have that savings, when things come up and we don't have any room in our budgets to pull the money to take care of that needed emergency, if you will, then you end up dipping into the money that you are saving for like the $5,000 savings that you have for the year. And when you do that, it's definitely demotivating, and you're dipping into that money that you're trying to save for the year. So I hope that's making sense. So when you're making that plan, you have that goal, hey, I want to save $5,000 for the year, but I'm also saving money for my car maintenance fund. So if something happens, I don't have to dip into my larger goal savings of that $5,000. I can just go to the envelope, and then you won't feel like it's always something. I have to always dip into my savings account in order to take care of that needed thing, and then I can never increase my savings. That was something that I did, and it worked wonders. Having a side hustle works wonders as well. You're able to use that side hustle to help fund the savings or fund the sinking funds and take care of certain things that you need to take care of, so that you're not dipping into that bigger goal of your savings for the year. I think that sums up pretty much everything that I did to save a little bit over $10,000 for 2024. I saved $8,000. I had a couple different and then savings challenges. Also doing the no spend, that's also hugely important. If you know me, you know that I'm notorious for having a no spend month. We're having one in January. I'm super excited about it. And in December, we are having a track your expenses challenge as well. So for you, if you are interested, I have a link down below to a free tracker so that you can track your expenses with us. But I think I just said a lot and I was like all over the place. But the thing is, doing no spend challenges will definitely help you to be able to take that money that you haven't spent and save it. And yeah, those are all of the things that I believe that I did in 2024 to save money. I did a couple of 1 month ahead savings challenges. I did the 52-week savings challenge. I did the 3,000 savings challenge. And I just had a regular envelope where I was just throwing money in there from time to time, saving money, and it all really just added up to about $8,000. I was shocked. I didn't think it was going to be that much. But I want to encourage you for 2025 to start saving. I don't care if you have to save $5, $10, $15, $20, $25. Every little thing that you save, it adds up. And in 2025, I want to help 1,000 women save $1,000. This could be your first 1,000 or just 1,000 that you need. But that is my prayer for 2025, is to be able to help you do the unimaginable, especially if you've never done it before. To help you believe that you are capable and you are able to make significant financial strides and gains in your life, and that you have what it takes. And that's going to be my mission for 2025. 1,000 women saving $1,000. If you are with me on that, I want you to leave down in the comments $1,000, because we are going to do it, and we're going to do it together. I will leave the savings playlist attached for you to watch it so that you can see how I'm spending the money. I have the budgeting videos if you need those, but we're going to be connecting definitely throughout the year. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. If you made it to the end of this video, leave $1,000 down in the video, because that is the goal. I will see you besties in the next video. Go be great. Peace out.
You special and she reckless. Remember, you're my bestest friend. Yeah, she my bestie. My love for you is endless. Nobody else can end it. And when I get the money back, then baby girl, you can spend it. And everything is alright. I like how